All right, it's great to have you join us. It's 32 FM 94.9. It's the morning of the 3rd of June, 2023. We'll take a look at the headlines coming out of the pages of the newspapers this morning, like we always do. My name is Kenny Durutilo. I have with me the pages of the Nation newspaper, the Daily Post, the Tribune, Premium Times, Daily Post, and a bunch of other papers. Start off with the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. APC governors back federal government on fuel subsidy removal is the major headline there from the Nation. Elsewhere, delay in Supreme Court stalls hearing of APM's petition against Tinubu, Shettima, others. Also, why North wants Tinubu what not wants from Tinubu by Arewa House. Court affirms IU suspension as PDP chairman. Sani won Kaduna Gubu poll fairly, INEC tells tribunal. All right, take more headlines from the Nation newspaper. Obafemi Awolowo and Nigeria's latter-day progressives. Biafra, what was her identity? Insensitive resistance to fuel subsidy removal, I believe, is an editorial piece from the Nation newspaper this morning. Matawali left 20.5 billion naira, $1.977 million for new Zamfara government aids. Plateau local government chairman clash with new governor. Okay, elsewhere from the Nation newspaper, Sani won Kaduna Gubu poll fairly. Already took that one. Okay, you want to take a look at the editorials from the Nation newspaper. Raymond Dokpesi, 1951 to 2023 is a piece there. Fred Onyuziri, analytical orientation and political science scholarship in Nigeria, the world's best. Some column pieces there from the Nation. All right, over to the Daily Post. PDP crisis. Court affirms IU sack as national chairman. You also find this one. Sports enthusiast rates Buhari least expectation from Tinubu, Ibori, Wike, Makinde in closed-door meeting with President Tinubu. Thank you, Mr. President. Agbaja Abiamila reacts to his appointment as Chief of Staff. Fuel subsidy, NLC declares nationwide strike. Of course, that one common to all of the papers this morning, as you would imagine. Tribunal dismisses Action Alliance candidates' petition against Makinde. Take some more stories here. Fuel subsidy, only Tinubu can fix petrol price. Falano tackles NNPCL. Fuel subsidy, provide measures to reduce the suffering of Rivers people. APC to Governor Fubara. More stories from the Daily Post. Biafra Day, don't allow political enemies turn Enugu into crisis theatre. IPOB to Mba. Reps Minority Caucus congratulates Gbajabiamila Akume on appointments. 73 ISWAP terrorists families surrender to troops in Borno. 10th Senate, PDP will be formidable in opposition. Senator Geshem Bassi. Still with the Daily Post, fuel subsidy not sustainable. APC governors at Boeing Gubo poll, PDP Audi to call 60 witnesses against APC. Governor Inwifuru's victory. 10th National Assembly zoning Deputy Speaker to Southeast disgusting. Ohaneze spits fire. Bonzena re-elected as Taraba Speaker. My purported resignation attempt to embarrass Akeredolu Ondo Assembly Speaker Oleyelugu. Also APC, your hard work, dedication paid off. Jack Rich congratulates Akume. Gbajabiamila. On the metro pages of the Daily Post this morning, one killed in lone car crash in Kwara. Police arrest teenage suspect, recover pistol, Colt Barrett. Elsewhere, police nab 2 suspected armed robbers terrorizing Delta community, recover 2 guns. Police arrest 5 suspected Delta cultists, recover pistol ready to 2001. Commercial tricyclists, taxi drivers clash in Ondo over new transport fare. Quranic school students in Kano drowns in pond. Alright, if you grab a copy of the Punch newspaper this morning, you find this one as the major headline. Subsidy, federal government considers wage review as Labour begins strike Wednesday. It's a major story from the Punch newspaper. Also, Easy Concepts births Gospel Groove Talent Quest. Another headline there. I can't love 2 people at the same time. Momiwa, that's I believe on the entertainment side of the Punch. 3,383 nurses, midwives moved to UK in 1 year. Quite a staggering number there. Also, auxiliary declared wanted, 11 pistols recovered in hotel. Metro Plus story there from the Punch. I'm keeping my virginity to inspire other girls. Taraba ex-corps member interview piece there. Grandmother's math skills inspired me. Enugu people who scored 337 in UTME. Serial phone thief caught fast asleep in church. Another story from the Metro Plus pages of the Punch. In business, Tinubu promises to review minimum wage with governors. It's coming from the Punch also. After Nigeria, others urge to reduce border checks. AFCTFA. Nigeria, others urge to reduce border checks. Also, talking politics now, Benue, how does the cleric governor hope to soar? It's a piece there, political related piece there that you might want to take a look at. All right, more stories from the Punch newspaper. SGF Group hails Tinubu over Akume's appointment. Ebonyi Tribunal, PDP ordered to call 60 witnesses against Governor Nwifuru's victory. Abbas ex-minister hailed Tinubu for appointing Bajabiamila COS. Tribunal dismisses A's petition against Makinde. Tinubu pledges to improve welfare, security of Nigerians. Expulsion threats. Adamu can't bully me into submission, says Lukman. Some stories you find from the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, let's take a look at the Tribune newspaper this morning, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Atiku PDP rigged out of 2023 presidential election at collation centers. Witnesses tell PEPC. It's the first one you find there from the Tribune. 10th NAS zoning deputy speaker position to Southeast disgusting, while Neze flays APC. Elsewhere, subsidy removal. NLC directs state councils to mobilize as nationwide strike begins Wednesday. Some more stories from the Tribune newspaper before we take a look at another paper. Reverse fuel price still agreement with Labour is reached, TUC tells federal government. Buhari spent $26 billion on fuel subsidy in 8 years. Some headlines from the Tribune newspaper this morning. All right, over to the Premium Times newspaper. Fuel subsidy removal, NLC to embark on nationwide strike protest. Major story. We won't fix petrol prices again. Nigerian agency. Tinubu meets APC governors, pledges to review minimum wage. NAS leadership. Tinubu meets Lawan Gbajabiamila over successors. Elsewhere, Tinubu names Gbajabiamila as Chief of Staff, Akume as SGF. An exclusive one from the Premium Times. Outgoing senators move belongings out of office 2 weeks to end of tenure. Also, House Speakership, Tinubu meets Abbas Kalu. More stories out of the Premium Times newspapers. NDDC Senate Investigative Committee fails to interview Akpabio. Fuel subsidy not sustainable. APC governors Hajj. Nakon reads Riot Act to caterers in Medina. Disqualifies defaulter. I'll work with Tinubu to develop Nigeria. Gbajabiamila. Court adjourns corruption trial of ex-Lagos Speaker Ikuforiji. Court sacks suspended PDP chair Iyorchia Ayu as party member. Why EFCC invited me, ex-governor. Fire me. More stories out of the Premium Times. Omagigi Hills Gbajabiamila Akume's appointments. Also, teen terrorist jailed for life over plot to attack soldiers. Police. I'll make police job attractive once again. Arase. Tinubu commissions National Assembly Central Mosque energy transition. CSOs seek Tinubu's gas plans. And lastly, from the Premium Times newspaper this morning, Federal High Court announces annual judges' vacation. Now, from the Daily Trust newspaper, Tinubu hosts Ibori, Wike, Makinde at Aso Rock. Wike defends Tinubu on subsidy, says moving Nigeria forward requires tough decisions. It's a major story from the Daily Trust newspaper. Nigeria loses 965 soldiers, policemen to Boko Haram, IPOB in 2 years. Fuel subsidy, Labour begins nationwide strike Wednesday. Man 33 arrested for raping 10-year-old girl. Also, man electrocuted in Niger. Speakership, North-East Coalition endorses Tajudi. Another report from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 1,872 killed, 714 abducted in Nigeria from January till April. Okay, more headlines here. Importer to CBN, tell the truth. Naira has been devalued. Importer to CBN, tell the truth. Naira has been devalued. Tinubu names Gbaja Chief of Staff, picks Buhari's minister as SGF. Another one here, devaluation business day report corroborates Daily Trust stories. What's that one about? You might want to grab a copy of the Daily Trust for more details on that one. In business, you have this one. 2 years after Cross Rivers Cali airplanes grounded over concession moves. Politics here, Lone Ranger, APC withdraws petition as Tonya Cole fights on. Nigeria loses 965 soldiers. Already took that one. Take one more story from the Daily Trust. Shehu Sani, APC misruled Kaduna for 8 years. That's also talking politics. Alright, from the Guardian newspaper this morning, subsidy removal, NLC commences strike Wednesday, TUC differs. You have this headline as well. US assures NDLEA of more support in fight against illicit drugs, Lords Mawa. EFC rearraigns man for alleged 125 million naira fraud. It's Falconets versus Black Princesses in Wafu B Under 20 Girls Cup final. That's talking sports there out of the Guardian newspaper. We also have this headline, Saturday magazine page of the Guardian. Tomiwa Tigbe. I play characters that resonate with audience. I believe, of course, that's entertainment related. Tribunal rather admits exhibits for 6 more states against Tinubu's election. All right, we'll delve into the analysis of the headlines now, and joining me to do that is Austin Udumu. I have him on the phone lines this morning. Hello, Austin.
Hello, Kenny. Good morning.
Good morning, Austin. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Are you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, so let's start off with the one that made the headlines yesterday, the appointments by President Bola Tinubu of Senator George Akume as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and of course Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila as Chief of Staff to the President. A lot of people were not surprised by Femi Gbajabiamila's appointment as Chief of Staff. Some people actually predicted that one. But a lot of people were more surprised that George Akume was appointed as the SGF. Your thoughts on that news yesterday and what you make of that?
Yes, it was a good one. Don't forget, it has been widely speculated, especially that of Femi Gbajabiamila. Like you have rightly said, a lot of people felt Gbajabiamila would get the job. At some point, the name of Gboyega Oyetola, the immediate past governor of Osun State, also cropped up. But people still say that Gbajabiamila is the best bet for such a job, because for the job of the chief of staff, you need a very close ally, someone who has always been there, especially politically, who also understands how government run. Gbaja has been in the House of Representatives since 2003, which makes it like 20 years that he has been a parliamentarian, and he's a seasoned and a veteran at that matter. So it was a well-deserved appointment for Gbajabiamila. And there are a lot of people who are also looking at the constitutional angle to it. Gbajabiamila, as of today, is still the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives in the country. A new National Assembly will be inaugurated on the 13th of June. We suffice to say basically that Gbajabiamila, no matter how close he may be to the president, he's always there with the president in some of his meetings since he assumed office, and even before the president was inaugurated. His tenure as the House of Rep Speaker will expire on the 12th. The new National Assembly will be inaugurated on the 13th. The Chief of Staff office officially will also be opened on June the 14th. Anything short of that, that is a contravention of the law. And from reliable source, we have also gotten the fact that his letter of appointment as Chief of Staff to the President is dated June 14th. So that has put to amend the speculation that, perhaps the president has done something very unconstitutional. Then on the appointment of George Akume as the secretary to the government of the Federation, well, nobody actually saw this coming. We were looking at North Central somehow. Some people said it would be Lalong. Some people also speculated El-Rufai. But because the presiding officer of the National Assembly, 2 of them are from Northwest, so a lot of people never saw the appointment of George Akume coming. But like I will say this morning, is a round peg in a round hole, a well-deserved appointment. But George Akume happened to be the first 2-term governor in Benue State. Since then, he has been in government. He has high level of decorum, and I also know that he will bring his experience to bear. He was a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was elected twice. First, I think in 2011, 2015. He lost out in 2019. and he was appointed the Minister for Special Duty. Now, this is the way it played out. You know, when the North Central were complaining that none of the presiding officer of the National Assembly was zoned to that region, despite the fact that the North Central also gave Bola Ahmed Tinubu quantum of vote. You know, I saw that as a form of injustice. But at the end of the day, I think the president has a way to balance up some of these things, because I am aware that the office of the secretary to the government of the federation is a very big appointment. So the president has picked George Akume from North Central, and I also love the balancing. Someone from the far west here as the chief of staff, and somebody from the North Central as the secretary to the government of the federation. So that was the appointment that was made yesterday. And I've never seen anybody who has come out to criticize that form of appointment, unlike President Muhammadu Buhari, who has never in his 8 years looked beyond the north for either the office of the secretary of the government of the federation or chief of staff to the president. So it's a good one. I wish sincerely that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will be able to address the issue of social justice, which is the fundamental of major agitations in the country today. So we say a good one for the president, and to those that have been appointed, congratulations to them. They should bring their wealth of experience to bear to enhance good governance in the country and help the president to better the laws of Nigeria. So congratulations to them.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to take you up on, Austin, is the character of the individuals. You already mentioned the fact that yes, this is good for the spread, as it were, of selections of those who are around the president as far as that is concerned. What do you make of the character of these individuals? Is the president surrounding himself? I know it's still early days. Is he surrounding himself with the right crop of people? If you can make a judgment, based off of these two appointments.
Yes, if you look at the appointments so far, I think the president is on the right course. If you talk about character, like I told you, Gbadabiamila has been on ground. In short, when the name of Oyetola came up, between Oyetola and Gbadabiamila, I followed it online. Majority of people, I don't think there's anyone that said the position should go to Oyetola, because Gbaja is well loved and is also very vast in terms of governance and his character too. Gbaja is a less controversial politician. The same to George Akume. Someone told me yesterday that Akume, nobody hears so much about Akume in recent time, but he has the character. I told you earlier, he has the decorum. No matter how good or bad the president is, the type of people he's surrounding himself with matters a lot. And that is the area we have not been able to get it right in the country. When you have a president who will surround himself with people that will not tell him the truth, people who are wanting in character and integrity. So these people have gotten this appointment. This is the first time in the history of their life they are getting to this particular position. Let's see how they will change some of the narrative that we have had, especially in recent past. Those in government, when they want to appoint people, they just make the appointment by fiat. Once it's a personal appointment like these two does not need interference or approval of the National Assembly. It's purely at the discretion of the president. Whoever the president chooses, so be it. So the issue of whether they are appealing, whether people will accept them, or the issue of character, it does not matter. But we are only hoping that the president will continue to appoint people of impeccable character and integrity. I also said, since yesterday till now, when the news broke out, the president chose the occasion of his meeting with progressive governor, the APC governor, to announce these two appointments personally by himself. So that is what we have for now. Since that yesterday, I have never seen, either from the camp of the opposition or from wherever, that has faulted this appointment so far. I don't know of tomorrow. I don't know of any moment from now. But so far, I think this appointment has gone down well to a large extent with majority of Nigerians.
Okay, Austin. The major talking point in the papers this morning, of course, has to do with the Nigeria Labour Congress and the declaration of a nationwide strike that's to start from Wednesday next week. Now, amidst all of that news, we also hear that the federal government has said that it's considering increasing the national minimum wage to reflect current economic realities and all of that. Is that the way to go, Austin? Increasing minimum wage, is that what's going to ease the burden on Nigerians in the middle of this? Some people have actually suggested that in the first place, why wasn't the fuel subsidy staggered in a way that over time it will be increased so that to monitor and be able to ensure that people don't suffer too badly as a result of the increase. What do you make of all of this?
Yes, salary increments is one way to it, but that's not the only way. When you talk about the current economic reality, of course, you can't take away the area of wage increase. But at the same time, the value of money is what money can buy. That is why most of the time I've faulted the activity of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who always believe that increment in salary is the only solution for workers' welfare. The NSA have never really protested against lack of good governance. They have not protested because our roads are bad. They have not been protesting because National Assembly members, politicians are collecting homologous salary and allowances. They only want to go on strike most of the time when it has to do with their wage. So increment in wage in situation like this is one of the way to go. You also talked about the subsidy removal being staggered. That actually was also my sentiment. But you need to take the bull by the horn to ameliorate the crisis in the country. This issue of subsidy removal and the untold hardship it will cause is a type of necessary evil that Nigerians must pass through in our history. How I wish this was successfully done like 20 years ago. We will have 20 years ago,
Right.
and by now things will have relatively improved. Maybe this government also saw it that staggered removal, we will also not be able to scale through, because that was the idea of President Muhammadu Buhari, and at the end of the day, he boggled it by himself to the extent that President Muhammadu Buhari, who once upon a time believed that subsidy was a scam, that there is nothing like subsidy,
Right.
paid trillions of naira to offset the issue of subsidy. I want the government to be sincere. I want the government to address this issue frontally. And the Nigerian Labour Congress should also be on ground to be able to fight on the part of the people. I do not think the idea of going on strike is the best idea. Let the government come up with whatever they think that can cushion the effect. Because if you look at the situation right now, TUC, as at the close of work yesterday, released a circular that there will be a follow-up meeting by tomorrow, which is Sunday.
Right.
That one of their demands as a result of their next meeting was that the federal government should revert to the old price. Then they put forward their agreement, then anything can take up from there. Rather than that, I will employ the government to consult more widely between now and tomorrow. Whatever we can do, let the NSC come up with the position. What is in need for the common man? Because even those of us who are working and earning a living, we are complaining, and we have majority of Nigerians who cannot even make ends meet, who are not making money, they are not working, they don't know when their next meal will come from. It's going to be very sad and it's going to be very tough. That's just the truth. But I think this could be another right time to remove subsidy. Goodluck Jonathan tried this January 2012. Those in government now, even Mr. President now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was also the arrowhead against Goodluck Jonathan at that time. and a group called Save Nigeria Group, who decided to ground the country at that time. If we have exercised patience at that time with Goodluck Jonathan, things perhaps could be better off today. But we were so impatient. I want those in government now, especially Mr. President. I don't think it's too much to even tell Nigeria that, oh, we are sorry that we didn't allow subsidy removal in 2012. We are sorry. We can't go forward now except we remove it. I think if President Bola Tinubu speak to the country like that, Nigerians will understand. Because a lot of people have the opinion that you people kicked against this thing the other time. And now it's becoming very unsustainable. And this is what we are having. Because from the adjustment in Angola, from the adjustment in Benin Republic and our neighboring country about pump price, it shows clearly that we are the one funding their petroleum consumption. That's just the truth. So how I wish we can have amicable resolution. Because if we go on strike now, we shift it, it's just like postponing the evil day.
Right.
It's a ticking bomb, it's a time bomb that is meant to happen. It's unfortunate that there is nothing on ground that the government can point to in terms of palliative. Bola Tinubu, the president, spoke yesterday at the APC governors meeting. He said, I inherited asset and the liability of my predecessor. He said that I take more than 3 times, if I can recall. He said, I inherited asset and liability of my predecessor. And I can pay for this job, and I cannot complain. I have to do the job. Just imagine if Bola Tinubu is not a smart politician or a mature politician, we will have been hearing a lot of revelation by now of the immediate past administration. Because the immediate past administration almost granted this country enough facets of his entire life. That's just the truth. Because the immediate past administration did not do well, even with the administration and management of the subsidy regime.
Right.
So let the government come up with concrete plan. What do you intend to do? Salary increments, one leg. How about mass transit? How about electricity sector? How about health? These are things that takes away money from the common man. So you said you have not been able to perform. Government said they have not been able to do anything because of the trillion that is going to subsidy. Now you want to remove the subsidy, or you have removed the subsidy. So what are you going to do? We need area of specific investment so that it will not be like the Shopee program, so that it will not be like all other social investment programs that have been counterproductive so far. So there is a meeting tomorrow, or there will be a meeting tomorrow. Let there be a win-win situation. If the government thinks that this is the right time to remove subsidy, let them go ahead and remove it. Start rolling out the palliative. We want to get value for our money. We can't be buying a liter for 500 naira and our roads are bad and people are dying at Alakia, Adegbayi, and people will spend 1 hour, 2 hours between Alakia and Adegbayi. We can't be buying 500 naira per liter and our roads are in bad shape. We can't be paying 500 naira per liter and we'll be buying the same fuel to power our generator, to power our businesses. It's an enormous task for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think he's trying to rally support from as many angles as possible. Let Nigerians come together at this particular point in time. But I doubt if strike can solve the problem, because by law, subsidy has been removed. That's just the truth. NNPC GMD has come out to say, yet subsidy regime will officially end by end of June. The past government made provision for it till the end of June. They only made provision, budgetary provision on paper, no money to finance it, because I learned that the federal government is still owing subsidy from last year that the NNPC have offset.
Right.
So we need to consider all of this area, but NSC should not take us to another round of strike that will not produce results, because we have had issues in the past. They will grant the economy, they will tell us they are going on strike. At some point, they will call off the strike without any result. If anything can be done at all to avert strike and make people to adjust so that the pain will not be too much, we can go ahead with it.
All right. Also, you're not for strike. Basically, that's what you're saying there.
Of course, I'm not for strike because strike has never really helped anything in the country.
But I want to take you back to the minimum wage now. The federal government, do you think they have considered this talk about increasing, minimum wage to help, curtail the effects of the fuel subsidy removal, especially considering the large numbers of, the debt numbers, large debt numbers we keep hearing in the news every day from time to time. Is this something that you think they have, considered and weighed the pros and cons of?
Yes, we are trying to free up money, subsidy money, because if subsidy for 2023 as a whole is over 7 trillion, then for half year is over 3 trillion. It means that we can actually free up money. And the president keeps talking about the issue of revenue generation, which means that the president is going to drive revenue. So if the president drives revenue successfully without having to double tax the people, if the problem we have majorly is our revenue, it's not even debt to GDP, it's our revenue to our debt. That is our major problem. So increment in wages is one of it. And when I talk about increment to wages, it must go beyond that. Because when you talk about increment in wages, it is purely government workers.
Right.
Some people in the private sector find it very difficult to increase salary, even when national minimum wage is passed into law. So it must go beyond increment in wages. I told you earlier, I said, personally, I don't fancy increment in wages. What is the essence of having money with a reduced value? Imagine, cast your mind back, when the minimum wage was 18,000, the value of money was far above this.
Right.
Because the purchasing power of the people gradually has been eroded by inflation and bad governance, especially as it affects the economy. So if you give an average Nigerian worker 100,000 minimum wage, like Showore promised some time ago, which is not even sustainable, how about what money can buy? How about the issue of the economy? What is the essence of a minimum wage when the bag of rice is over 40,000? Which means that the minimum wage, which is called the take-home pay, cannot even take you home. Look at the issue of fuel now. For example, personally, I use close to 30,000 fuel per month. What is the implication now? Which means I'm going to be using an average of 70, 80,000 per month. So it's not about, it goes beyond the issue of increment in minimum wage. Increment is one of it, but it is not everything about this matter. Make our road motorable, make electricity stable, roll out mass transit. Mass transit is our major problem in this country. We have in advanced country, people don't use their personal car. In New York, for example, statistics have it that over 90% of residents don't have personal car because the mass transit is robust. So let government make commitment, roll out buses. We had the Ajumoshe sometimes ago. Before the election, Seyi Makinde brought out some buses. I entered the buses at that particular point in time. Any location free of charge, though I don't support free of charge, let it be at a reduced fare. Because if you tell us free of charge, how do you maintain them? So we want to appeal to state governors too. There was a time Seyi Makinde bought, I think, over 50 buses. Where are they? That's the issue. So let the federal government roll out palliative. When we talk about palliative, it's more than naira value. It's more than naira and kobo in terms of increments in wages. So let them roll out palliatives that can make life better. If our roads are motorable and I'm leaving my house, there's no traffic, the level of fuel consumption in traffic is more than when the road is free. So these are areas that the government can work on. The health sector, our infrastructure, then electricity sector is very germane because report have it that the secondary usage of PMS is more than the primary usage. The secondary usage is those who use petroleum products to generate their power. So which means that Whether you have a car or not, you may necessarily need to buy fuel to power your generator,
Right.
to power your home. But if you fix electricity sector, it will definitely be restricted to only those who have a car. And at the end of the day, if you fix mass transit, I have my car. It's not compulsory that I go out with my car. When the rail system is working, when the transportation system is working, and all of these things, they are not rocket science. It's unfortunate that we don't have them today. So let federal government make commitment. Refineries must work. Dangote refinery will start working by next month. How about Port Harcourt refinery that we are pumping billions of naira into? The other refinery owned by the government should be privatized. They should be sold off. The sector have been liberalized by the advent of Petroleum Industry Act. So since the sector has been liberalized, investors can come in. Nobody will want to invest in the oil sector when subsidy is being paid. Investors, they are particular about return on investment.
All right.
So it's a very big problem that we have to deal with. So I pity this president, and I wish that he would be able to maneuver it.
Okay, let's leave fuel subsidy for a bit and take a look at this report from the Punch newspaper. It says 3,383 nurses, midwives moved to UK in 1 year. Quite a staggering number, Austin, don't you think?
Yes, it's quite staggering. And I will put it to you this morning that this could be a conservative figure. We suffice to say that this figure could be more than that. The numbers could be more than that. Personally, I've known a lot of people, health workers, who have jetted out of the country to where their services is better needed, to where an enabling environment is created. Somebody just returned from the UK this week, and the fellow says there's no place like home. But our politicians, our leaders, they have destroyed our home. That is why people are going out of the country in mass. Those days, it used to be in search of a greener pasture. But today, it's majorly about your life and the future of your children. So the government should work on that. Let's work on it. Let's reverse the ugly trend. You need to go to our immigration offices. You need to go to our embassies in the country, foreign embassy. Go to the airport. You will weep for the future of this country. What is currently happening in the air sector today, we might not feel it in the next 1 or 2 years. In the next 10 years, if the trend is not positively reversed, you will get to a level where you have your own money, you get to the hospital, and nobody to attend to you. Or we have fewer people. Because as it is now, our hospital doctor to patient ratio is on the high side, one of the highest in the whole wide world. So, and the figures keep depleting. So the government must arrest the trend. It goes beyond the issue of wage, because health workers are still relatively better paid in Nigeria compared to other sectors. But they are living because of enabling environment. They are living because of training. They are living because of infrastructure. They are living because of equipment to work with. Right. Some of them are very hardworking, they want to work, but there are no equipment to work with. So the government must bring back the lost glory of the country, wherein our people can only travel out, maybe for holiday, and come back. It is not a good thing for a man to wake up in the morning and say, I want to abandon my home, no matter how bad you think your home is. But the government is driving this. The economic situation is so volatile. The security situation is so bad. You go out, you don't know whether you will come in or not. You go out, you spend a lot of hours on the road, not because of accident or what have you, but because of road construction. A lot of people are facing hell. So the government must reverse this ugly trend. Okay. And the ball is in the court of the government.
Okay, we open the phone lines now. 0705 5949, 0809 7949. Let's have your thoughts, your reactions to the headlines. You might want to give your thoughts on any of the stories that you've heard this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ken.
Good morning.
Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, sir.
God with pleasure, wisdom, and understanding in the mighty name of Jesus. You spoke well. My own take this morning has to do with fuel subsidy removal. Former President Muhammadu Buhari spent $86 billion on fuel subsidy in 8 years. Now, I'm quite agree it's a scam. But I want this president, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to come out and tell us the scammer. Because I don't even understand it. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't even understand the people benefit from this self-subsidy. Can you understand? Are they rich people or poor one? Let Bola Ahmed Tinubu come out and tell us the scammer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Austin and the professor in the house.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Ayode speaking from Akobo.
All right.
You see, I don't really agree with all the analysts, all these our media. You see, I don't understand, and I will never come to terms with a reasoning that what we are producing here in Nigeria cannot be domesticated to favor Nigerians. How can we be producing oil here in Nigeria and they are telling us it is not affordable for us here in Nigeria? Can you be producing rice in your farm and you say your children cannot? The rice is too costly that your children cannot eat it. And if your children want to eat it at all, it has to be at a very expensive cost. All those that are saying subsidy is good to be removed, is good, they are speaking from a wrong perspective. There are ways the federal government can domesticate the refining of petroleum here in Nigeria and make it affordable for Nigeria. Nigeria is gradually sweeping towards what is happening in Venezuela. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you. 0705 5949 0829 7949. Those are the numbers. We're also live on Facebook. You can drop your comments on Facebook as well. That's 32FM 949 Ibadan. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. What's your name?
Hello, good morning. Hello, if you can hear me, my name is Dr. Mark Austin Odumo. Good morning.
All right, go ahead.
I salute you and I like all your analysis so far. I just want to say something that is germane at this time. You see, the government should have thought of this earlier. And I never expected that the president would make it this fast. Even if you are going to remove the subsidy, it should have been something that would have been gradual. Because the meaning of the impact of this 500 naira is going to be too much on the people. You know, another thing I would like this administration to really focus on is how to make the economy productive again. If the economy is productive and we have stable electricity, thank God now states can generate their power. That is the beginning. Let all the governors work on ensuring that generate power in their states, and that will start helping those in the manufacturing sector, people who want to do manufacturing to enhance their productivity and boost the economy. So whatever palliative they are going to do now may not go around everybody. That is the truth. What I thought this administration would do if they can stabilize power, at least make one or two of these refineries to work to compete with the one Dangote is bringing. This should have been on the pipeline before they start removing the subsidy totally. Because the impact of this 500 per liter is not just what we are looking at now. It's going to be tougher as the days go by.
Okay.
I pray that God will help the country. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother.
Good morning,
this
sir.
is John Omaruwaju from Ado.
All right.
I love the analysis of Mr. Austin, but the one I disagree with, you know, many used to say that one of the callers said that subsidy is good to go. To me, I disagree, and I always disagree. Why is it that we citizens always to suffer, and those politicians that we suffer for them in the sun, that they will never suffer anything. That is why many people like me, we see it as injustice when you remove the subsidy and you are telling you are pampering the masses, not to anger, not to angry, but they will not see the politicians suffer anything. That is not the way the country is supposed to run. See, like Austin analyzing everything that government is supposed to prepare before removing the subsidy. I think, why did they not provide all of this? Definitely, the heart of the masses is not in their mind. So let them provide all these things. If they provide it, then you are now right to remove the subsidy. But if you are here to provide all these things, you don't have any single right to remove it at all. Because we all own this country. Nigeria is not belong to anybody. It does not belong to one person. It belongs to everybody. So you cannot be pampering me that I should be patient with you when you are enjoying.
All right, we hear you. Thank you very much. Let's see who's here. Hello? Okay. 0705 5949. 0809 7949. Those are the numbers. So try to take some messages on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Please, you permit me, I don't like to identify myself as such, but please just...
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. I am very, very, very sad. Sad in the essence that what is going on in this country. Take it or leave it. People will not be able to stand it again. The time is coming whereby they will deal the government. And government should be ready for this. And for the past 8 years, let me say, right from the time of Jonathan, I take my mind off politics. I saw what was coming. I did not vote anybody because I know this chaos will likely going to take place. This very particular government are fond of hypocrisy. These are the people that raise placards, the people that stand up against the Jonathan administration. You are see the mess they brought this country into. Now, sir, the journey I used to go from here to Benin that will not cost more than 12,000 go and come. That is if I stand by the way. It's costing almost 60,000 naira. I am not a politician. I don't stand to benefit anything. What is my crime in the hand of all this evil government? Where are we heading to? There is one simple elementary economics we have. We call it nearest to resources. What is happening that we have oil in this country and we cannot have a refinery that will produce it and will have it at the cheapest rate? Why are they suffering this country, people? Why are they pushing us to a war whereby we will have no choice but rather to reverse and face whatever that will come out of it? Everybody is not a politician. Everybody is not LLC beneficiary. A majority of Nigerians will hustle on our own. Whatever palliative they want to roll out, you will find out that it's not everybody that is going to benefit from it. People are in the street suffering. All of us are not salary earners. Sir, Nigeria is in a big mess that will roll out the danger that they cannot stand. Good day.
Hello, good morning. We'll try and call back. Let's see if we can do one more call before we wrap things up. 0705 5949 0809 7949. Quickly on Facebook, I have this one here. Omobasha with the message says, my take on fuel subsidy removal. Honestly, fuel subsidy removal is gone according to... Okay, fuel subsidy is gone according to my president. I agree with him. Former President Muhammadu Buhari spent $86 billion on fuel subsidy for 8 years. Who are the people benefiting from the subsidy? Are they the rich or poor? Thank you very much for that one. I'll take another call before I go. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
It's okay. Austin,
Okay.
good morning. We all acknowledge and agree that this subsidy thing is a scam and it has to go. We all agree. But what we are saying now is the way they came into it, it's frightening. The increase, 500 naira in Oyo State. There's actually a particular thing. There are times you see a lot of people that come in to tell us blatant lies that were in the previous government. They will tell us there are some countries, their pump price is far, far higher, cheaper than that. We are having a cheaper price than others. Now, Angola came out to tell us 160 chocos to 320. Please, was it higher than 195? There are a lot of things, lies that boggled it to the just because they wanted to convince us. Now, we appeal. They should not have done it this way. They should have brought it in a lighter way. If you are going to increase, they should have started with 200-300 instead of this high frightening price. And Labour, with all due respect to them, those ones are not just, nobody will listen to them. Good morning.
All right. On Facebook, Kidiran Babatunde says this administration will not reverse subsidy removal. Let us offer valuable advice to help the governments. Above all, let us cut down the cost of governance. We don't need bicameral legislators. Our senators should be on part-time. Our institutions should be allowed to function effectively. Above all, rule of law should stand. Okay, thank you very much. That's so much I could take on Facebook. Austin, before we go, let's have your final thoughts.
Yes, somebody made an attempt to compare rice with PMS or crude oil. It's not the same because crude oil you have to refine. I think the major problem we have is inability to locally refine. Then the government must show sincere commitment in the area of reduction of the cost of governance. That's another area. You cannot tell me to make sacrifice and you are living a larger than life lifestyle. You are living in opulence. So the government really need to watch it. But like I said, subsidy has been removed as a matter of law. Don't forget, Dangote Refinery was waiting for a time that subsidy would be removed. Dangote Refinery was waiting for the PIA. That's just the truth. Because without total deregulation, refinery will find it difficult to operate in Nigeria and maximize profits. That's just the truth. So let's hope that their meeting tomorrow will be productive. The government should reason very properly. Let them come up with robust measure. If you increase to 300, we are still postponing the evil day. There is no right time to remove subsidy because we ought to have removed it in the past and we failed to remove it. Those in government now work against previous government for political reason and the problem is staring us in the face now. If we postpone it to another 20 years, once it is removed, the pain will be there. So the federal government should look at the issue of public service, public utility that can ameliorate the suffering of the people.
Okay.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Austin Uduma, for joining me this morning. I do appreciate you, sir. That's much we can take on the Break It Down People Review for today. Okay. Break It Down will be back on Monday, bright and early on 32 FM. My name is Kenny Durutilu. Good morning. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the guest